Are you lonely? Do you sometimes wonder why you can't seem to make any friends? Today, we're going to talk about what the book of Proverbs says about friendship on the Proverbs 120 Media channel. Welcome back to Proverbs 120 Media. I'm your host, Curtis, and today I'm joined by my brother-in-law, and that is Nathan Birt. And Nate, tell us a little bit about yourself today.
Yeah, Kurt, excited to be here with you today. And I serve at West Coast Baptist College and teach and serve here on the administration and just loving life and have a beautiful wife, Alyssa, your sister, and two beautiful kids. And we're just enjoying serving the Lord together and excited about our discussion today.
Today, the topic that I picked for Nathan and myself is the subject of what the Bible says about what Proverbs says about friendship. There are a lot of very practical subjects that we've been talking about, but I think there are very few as practical as friendship, especially today. There are so many statistics out there that talk about how Gen Z in specific are very lonely. There are a whole lot of socioeconomic blah 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 reasons for that. Certainly I can understand how in some ways Gen Zers have the odds stacked against them in a way, and my heart goes out to y'all, by the way. As a millennial, I understand some of it but not all of it, but the more I read, the more my heart it breaks for y'all, because a lot of you are very lonely, and that's part of the heart of having this channel in the first place. This is a place that you can come to and have a little bit of community, at least I hope. But also, the Bible has a lot to say about the subject of having friends or being a friend. So, and the reason I chose Nathan today is because Nathan has been a good friend of mine for, oh goodness, well, I was gonna say a few years, but Nathan, it's not been a few years now, has it?
It's been forever. Good night.
Yeah,
We're getting old, Kurt.
we're getting, well, I don't want to say that. That hurts. But Nathan and I have been friends for a while now. Of course, we met in Bible college. We have preached together. We've been soul winning together, and I was even in his wedding because my sister. Anyway, um, uh, so
That was a
um,
friendship thing, though. That wasn't just because
eh,
you were the
friendship.
future
It's
brother-in-law. Yeah.
right. It's there. There are a few reasons why I was in that one. Anyway. And the other reason why I chose Nathan is because he is at West Coast Baptist College and he deals with young people quite a bit. And Nathan, although West Coast Baptist College students are certainly the cream of the crop, especially the alumni, I would dare say that some of these Bible verses that we're about to share today, your students could certainly benefit from. And I'm sure I could give examples, and you could give examples of times when people have broken these things and have therefore not had the friendships that they want, or are feeling very lonely.
Yeah, yeah. I would say in a Bible college setting, Kurt, and you know this firsthand, is that you are forced to get to know people and to compromise and to learn how to get along with people. It's a very important trait for life.
Right.
It's not just about getting the head knowledge of the Bible, which is extremely important, but a lot of times, if you're taking online classes and you're doing an online degree, you're missing what you can learn in the dorms and in chapel. And this is exactly what we're talking about: getting along with people and being able to take these biblical principles and apply it to your life, and learning these lessons that are going to help you learn how to interact with people and learn how to build friendships for the rest of your life. And so, yes, we do deal with this a lot. And there's just a lot of principles you can learn throughout Bible college as well.
Right. And to be clear, when it comes to friendship, yes, this certainly absolutely applies to Bible college students, but also if you're in the workplace, this will help you as well. This will help you at church, making friends there. This will really, these Bible verses are evergreen. They're going to help in really any kind of social setting. If you want friends, watch this episode. Friendship guaranteed. Well, I'm not going to say guaranteed, or your money back. Anyway. All right. All that said, Nathan, you are my guest today. How about you give us the first verse?
Yeah, absolutely. So, Kurt, as I was studying this, Proverbs 27 is really the chapter that I'm going to hone in on for all three of these verses
Okay.
because Proverbs 27 just has so much to say about friendship. And I wrote down four from Proverbs 27, but I know you said three, so I'm going to try to hold back here. But
Okay.
I think one of the probably the most humorous ones here is in the middle of the chapter, Proverbs 27:14. He that blesseth his friend with a loud voice, rising early in the morning, it shall be counted a curse to him. And I think that's a really interesting verse, especially as we were talking about Bible college and dorm life. I don't know if you had the roommate, Kurt, that was just like up at 5 a.m. and playing music and singing and, just ready to tackle the day. And were you that person or?
No, no, no. It was the opposite end. It was more like
Okay.
staying up until 1 o'clock in the morning. And
Okay. So someone who's just loud and obnoxious when someone else is trying to sleep, and it's a little bit of a humorous verse that you can apply to a bunch of different situations. But one of the commentaries that I looked at, I think, really encapsulated the meaning of this verse. They said excessive zeal in praising raises suspicions of selfishness.
mm,
And I thought that was really interesting to study out that verse, and that sometimes we can be so eager to have friends or so eager to be liked that we can be sometimes excessive in our praise and excessive in some of the communication of that, and sometimes that can come across as selfish
mhm.
and very self-centered. And it's something that we all need to work on because we do live in a very selfish culture. And we need to make sure that we're not coming across like that as Christians, especially in this area of friendships. And so it can come across a little humorous. Don't get up super early and be loud and obnoxious. Is really the main application there. But as this commentary gets a little deeper in it, make sure that you're not being so out there and so outgoing and excessive praise that it's coming across as selfishness. And a lot of times, even on social media, it can come across as selfishness and self-centeredness. And God has called us to a life of humility. And so I really felt like that verse was a good starting point for us today.
Yeah. What comes to my mind is the word sincerity. If you look at my right there, you see that right there? That's my
Yep.
book on narcissism.
Yes.
And
Yes.
what I have found through my experience with narcissists is they will just praise you, praise you, praise you, praise you, praise you until until it doesn't benefit them anymore.
Mhm.
There is an ulterior motive to that praise, right? By the way, shameless plug, Heyman, Profile of a Narcissist. You can buy it on Amazon. Links in the comments. But anyway, um, most of us now, because of our dealings with narcissistic people or otherwise people, when we hear all that praise, the first thing that comes into our minds is, well, what do you want? Right?
Mhm.
My kids, if
Mhm.
they come to me and say, Daddy, you're so wonderful, you're so awesome, my first thought is, okay, what Lego set do they want now? Right.
Yes.
So there's an importance for sincerity when it comes to our friendships. Because most people, they can sense that you are not being sincere.
Yeah.
um,
Yeah.
so that's good. I like that. And that's a direction that I didn't think I was going to be talking about today. So that's good. I like that.
And you got to put a plug in for your book too. So
Yes,
there you go.
absolutely. Absolutely. There's a reason I keep it right there. And the other one right there. So there's a
Strategically placed.
yes, there's a method to my madness. Well, let me go to my first verse. And when I thought about this, the first verse I had to go to was Proverbs 18:24. That is, a man that hath friends must show himself friendly, and there is a friend that sticketh closer than a brother. Now, I'm going to focus not most, but all of my attention on the first part of this verse. A man that hath friends must show himself to be friendly. By the way, Jesus is that friend that sticketh closer than a brother, and we are very thankful for our Savior. However, that is not what we're talking about today. So that's a whole other video for a whole other subject. But this thing about a man that hath friends must show himself to be friendly. Listen, I don't think that there is a more obvious piece of advice to give to somebody who wants friends than be a friendly person.
Mhm.
But here we are talking about it because, Nathan, you have counseled people before, and I have counseled people before, and we have seen people on social media who have lamented and complained about how, oh, I don't have any friends, I'm so lonely, blah, blah, blah. And you know full and well that those people are just jerks. Now, how are you going to make friends if you're not a nice person? And that's just common sense. You know, there's this phrase, I believe, I hate saying this, I believe it was Marilyn Monroe. I think she said, if you can't accept me at my worst, you can't have me at my best. Right?
I'm not sure if she said that, but yeah.
There's that
That's a good
phrase there.
quote.
There's
Yeah.
it's a quote that a lot of people give out there, right? But at the same time, I want people to understand, if you are at your worst all the time,
Yes.
if you're always just being mean and if you're always just moody, guess what? People aren't going to want to be around you and
Yeah.
you're not going to have friends. You got to be a friendly person. Flies are more attracted to honey than they are to vinegar.
Mhm.
So be a nice person. Nathan, what do you have to say about that?
Yeah, absolutely. I think that a lot of times we can be so inward focused. Woe is me. I don't have any friends. No one cares about me. And we need to ask ourselves, why is that the case? And this verse is very clear. If you want friends, you need to be friendly. It doesn't mean you need to be the most outgoing person in the room, and you
Back to
need
your
to,
first
you
verse.
know, be the life of the party. That's not what the verse is saying, but you do need to be sincere, as we talked about in the first verse, and you need to be friendly to others. And most of the time, in a especially in a Christian setting, if you're friendly, you're going to find friends, and you're going to find the people that you click with, and you're going to find the people who become lifetime friends. And so it's very important that we're not just so inward. A lot of times we can just be so focused on our own lives and our own problems, and that's just human nature. But we need to make sure that we are caring for others. And when we care for others, people are going to want to be our friends as well. And we're not caring for people for with ulterior motives. We've talked about with that first verse. But if we do want friends, we need to make sure we are being friendly. And I think that's a huge principle for teenagers and young people, but also people our age and older who sometimes we can get inward and so focused on our own problems. And we need to make sure that we are keeping the focus on others.
This is part one of a two-part episode. Join us next week for part two, but in the meantime, watch one of these other videos.